Let me get this spice rub out of the way. While we are grilling our bison steak, I'm going to throw together a really quick sauce. You could call it a barbecue sauce. In my mind, it's more of a steak sauce. So that's what we're making, is a homemade steak sauce. First and foremost, what would steak sauce or barbecue sauce be without a little prepared ketchup? So I'm using just a store-bought ketchup. Try to use a higher quality ketchup that's not all corn syrup. I do want a nice tomato flavor, but more than anything, I want some vinegar out of that ketchup. So ketchup. Dijon mustard is going in next. One of my favorite things in the kitchen. Following our Dijon mustard, I've got some stone ground mustard that I'm throwing in there. Tastes really good. It also looks really pretty with the whole mustard. This is a little bit of wildflower honey that's going in next to give us a little bit of sugar there, so we can achieve that sour sweet effect. Molasses, an ingredient that I love to use in the kitchen, and molasses is actually quite good for you. So try to get it into more of your food. This is some horseradish. This happens to be fresh horseradish that we grated at the school. You could most definitely use prepared horseradish if you don't have any fresh horseradish on hand. Throw in some prepared. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. I'm going to give this a mix and see how thick we are. I have some cold water sitting here. If I need to thin this a little bit, I'll just simply thin it with water. But everybody has different tastes as far as a sauce like this goes. Some people like their sauces a little sweeter. Some people like them more sour. Some people like a little more heat. If you wanted a little more heat in this sauce, just do a few dashes of whatever type of hot sauce you like to use at home. That'd be great in here. You could add some Worcestershire if you like that. This is actually looking like a nice consistency, just to have a little sauce on the top of our barbecue rub steak. But I do want to taste it and make sure we are where we want. Perfect. As far as I'm concerned, it's really nicely balanced. That's going to be great on top of our bison. Set that on the side. And let's check this bison and see if it's ready for a turn. Remember, I said it will no longer stick to the grill. It'll release itself. It's not sticking, and it's looking beautiful. I've got those grill marks I was talking about. I can tell it actually seared, and I've got some nice caramelization. That color on there, those grill marks, equal a nice amount of flavor. I'm going to let this go another 3 or 4 minutes. Remember the touch test that I told you. This is already starting to spring back quite a bit when I touch it. When I touched it in a raw state, I was pushing on it, and it sort of felt like this portion of my hand. It wasn't springing back that quickly. Now we're shifting around, and it's actually starting to firm up a little bit. So if you need to use your hand, a lot of people use that as a guideline. Because your hand has different levels of fat, the fattier portion of your hand would feel like meat in a raw state. As your hand firms, you're cooking more and more. So again, medium rare. I'm going to say it's going to take about 2 more minutes. We're going to pull it off. We're going to allow it to rest. I'm going to throw a little bit of that homemade steak sauce over the top, and it's going to be beautiful.